week. For his take now on the American Rescue Plan, we want to welcome in Congressman Adam Kinzinger from Illinois' 16th District. Congressman, it's great to see you. Your state's set to get a lot of this money. Why vote against it?
So, yeah, look, it's all, anytime you have any piece of legislation come up, there's going to be things you like, things you don't like, and you take all of that, especially something this big, and you make a decision. For me, look, I hope it's very successful. I'm glad that there are pieces of the bill that are in it. Where I disagreed with was, first off, I think at the beginning we should have gone with the things we can all agree on. More money for vaccines, education, things like that, opening schools. But what that also did was go into bailing out of pension funds, bailing out of the state of Illinois that has really deep financial mismanagement. And that stuff needs to be dealt with separately. So, look, while I'm glad that my constituents are going to be getting the checks, while I'm glad there's money going, to certain areas, as a legislator, you have to take all that into account and make your best decision.
Let's shift to immigration, Congressman. What do you think should happen at the border, considering what's happening there right now?
So, look, I think bottom line on the border is that there's really broad bipartisan consensus, but you have to do this in a way that's comprehensive. So we need serious, significant border security, and we also have to fix the broken immigration system here on the back end and through the legal channels. There is real concern when you telegraph that, in essence, it's going to be much easier to get in. We're getting rid of some of the policies that were in place. It will be a pull for people to make that journey, and I'll tell you, my concern isn't because, we don't want these people or anything like that. I've actually worked the border with the National Guard, and there are the coyotes, the cartels in Mexico that make a ton of money on this human trafficking.
So you mentioned the National Guard. You're a pilot and you're a military man, yet you just voted in favor of a background check gun bill that would tighten that up. I don't know that anyone would question your Second Amendment credentials here, Congressman, but do you think there is room for this in the middle?
I do. So, look, I'm as pro-Second Amendment as it comes. The problem is people have mistaken now you can't ever vote for anything that makes stuff more secure. The reality is 80 to 90% of gun sales, when you buy them, you go through a background check. If you go to any gun store and buy a gun, you do that. Where that loophole is if I sold you a gun, there's no background check. So it's not cumbersome to say, well, maybe we should go through a background check on that as well. There is an exemption if you sell it within the family, et cetera. It's not taking away anybody's rights, not even lengthening the background check process, but it is saying that we need to make sure when guns transfer that we know who they're going to. And I think that's an issue that 95% of Americans agree on. It's not necessarily an easy vote to take when you deal with party politics, but I think looking at it, it was the right vote.
Well, you make it sound easy, as you said. Do you think this goes anywhere in the Senate?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, I guess you have to get the filibuster threshold of 10. I know there are a few Republicans that have worked on things like this, so we'll see if it does go anywhere. But I do think the Democrats need to be careful to go on a massive gun control push, because find the areas where maybe you can have agreement, but you're going to end up just polarizing this whole issue.
Let's get a foreign policy question in, Congressman. What are you most concerned about right now between China, Russia, and Iran?
Well, foreign policy-wise is China. Actually, my biggest concern is disunity in this country. And I think it is a foreign policy thing to an extent, because you see when democracies fail, they fail because you believe, that your vote doesn't count. You're told the election is fake. And you see now your fellow American is a bigger enemy. So China's a huge concern. But if this country's unity falls apart, all this stuff will pale in comparison to those issues.
You have been front and center on moving away from President Trump. In fact, you're staking your political future on it. You're getting primaried. You got censured. Your family members, several of them, have shunned you. It seems like you're pushing all your chips in, Congressman. Are you sure this is a hand you can win?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a hand I can win, but I know I feel at peace with it. I know I got into politics 11 years ago because I wanted to do the right thing and defend this country and this system. And ignoring the disunity, the disinformation, the fear-mongering, I wouldn't be, following through on my oath, my commitment to myself and my God. So I feel like it's the right thing to do. This party has to be saved. And that's why I started Country First, country1st.com, to just bring the country back to the focus for the GOP and not one man and loyalty to him.
Will you rerun for your seat again? What's in your future, Congressman?
Yeah, so it's my intention to. I never make the decision until we get closer, because I think it would be disingenuous otherwise. But yeah, I intend to stay in the fight, and we'll just see when that comes.
How do you think Trump impacts the election cycle and the party next year? How does this all reconcile itself?
Well, I certainly think he'll have an impact, no doubt. There's going to be people that stay loyal to him. But I think every day that goes by, he loses some of that influence. And you can just see with his kind of panic press releases now out of Mar-a-Lago. So I think that's really where the fight in the party is. It's not, we don't have to have some effort to show unity for no reason. It's about taking it to the Republican voters, particularly, and saying, what do you want the future of the party? And I'm presenting an alternative vision, which is pretty basic of, we're a party that puts America's interest before our own.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, thanks for spending some time with the Donlon Report tonight. We appreciate it.
Anytime.